Hello, my scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Kidaholics Kits design team layout. Now, for my first layout this month, I went a little frame crazy. Now, I have included every single frame that came in this month's kit. Now, for those of you that might find frames a little bit daunting or that you just don't tend to reach for them and they kind of don't really go with the way that you scrap, this is certainly one way of using them up, getting them out of your stash, all in one big foul swoop. Now, for me, it was more just the challenge that Steph sent us the requirements of having a frame-focused layout. Now, there are obviously multiple ways you could interpret a frame focus, and for me, I decided to go with the interpretation of using as many of them as I possibly could on a layout. So I'm actually mounting my photos on the top of the frame instead of behind the frame, which does of course overlap the sort of embellishments that are built into the frame itself, but that's okay. I have a plan in store for that. Now, I did go ahead and grab the ephemera pack that came with, I think it was last month's kit or the month before. Oh, I can't remember. But the from a kit we just most recently had, because it is the same collection, and I just wanted to pull that ephemera and use as much of that ephemera as I can. Now, I absolutely adore the blue background paper that I'm using for this layout. Having the real story in the background. What was the story called? The Veiled something. Now I can't remember. But I just think that is super cool. And that when you read it, if you do take the time to read it, it does actually make a cohesive story, which is really cool. I just really liked it. I loved the color and I just thought it was really fun. So I decided I wanted to use that for this particular layout. Now, here I am, as you can see, orientating how my frames will go, gluing those down with wet glue. For me, in this particular case, it was really important to use that glue because there's no way I would have been able to stick all these frames on top of each other without it. I didn't try and even out like the surfaces. I've just kind of forced them to end up sticking to the blue paper. So even though that black and white frame I have put on top of that bony colored frame, I still just kind of pushed it on. I didn't try and put foam behind it to make it all on the same level. So yeah, because I'm kind of thinking of this as being part of the background, or just like lots of ephemera, I guess. Now, my final frame is, of course, the frame with my photos on that are going to go right on top of everything. Now, these photos are my young man's very first day of real primary school, not kinder, not preschool, but actual primary school, and my goodness, was he excited. I'd seen these really funny threads where they have before and after photos of how pristine their kid went to school at the start of the day and how disheveled and ragged they came home at the end of the day. So I had attempted to do that. These are my before and after photos, but as you can see, he really didn't get disheveled at all in any way, shape or form. He just really looks the same, if not a little bit red because it was a hot day and he was a bit hot and bothered. But otherwise, he just looks like his happy self. But yeah, he had a wonderful day. He's been having a wonderful few weeks. He's been there for a few weeks now and yeah, just skips off every day, which makes me happy. So now, as I said before, I didn't try and even out the surface when I was putting the frames on. That is true. But this frame is my most important frame of all because it has the photos in. So I did put some foam dots in the corners to make sure that it's on the correct level. And I did then glue it directly to the highest, the tallest frame there was, the thickest frame there was. Now, I then pulled the ephemera from the ephemera pack that sort of matched in with my frame. So the word hello, I had one of those. So I've stuck that sort of a little bit off, but on top of the word hello. As you can see, I covered up some of the camera that was down in the bottom corner, but on the sticker sheet there was exactly another camera, slightly different colors, but otherwise exactly the same. So I am going to pop that camera back on top where it belongs as well. So that was my plan for where I had covered the ephemera that was built into the frames. Now, of course, I don't need to use the exact same one, but I chose to in those two cases. And I also put that little thumbs up. Then I added that little paper clip as well, just for some fun. And then I didn't have the same sort of circle ephemera that was up the top of that one, the smile, but that was okay. I decided to use a notebook. We are talking about school after all, with the word big plans. Then this little piece of floral ephemera is coming on. And obviously you can get the idea here of where I was going with my embellishing here. Just adding to the frame embellishments that were already there. And then in this top frame up here, I'm just making my own embellishment. And again, just tried to sort of pull the crafty school kind of base things in, just because then that would make sense with the photos. Then once I have finished all that, it was time to have a play with my title. I really wasn't sure how I was going to do my title at first. There were so many things that I could have said, first day, or, loving prep, or ready to go, or whatever. But I really couldn't figure out where to place it, just because of how all the frames were on the page. It was really quite busy. I could have just left the word hello to be the title. If I had have really been thinking, I probably could have placed that hello frame in a different spot, and the title could have incorporated the word hello, like hello prep or hello school or something like that. But because of where that word hello is placed, I couldn't really incorporate it, and I couldn't think of a title that finished with the word hello. Like prep hello just doesn't really make the same sense. So in the end, I just decided to leave the hello as just a piece of embellishing, and to just pop these larger black thickers on that just simply say first day. And I just kind of followed the line of the frame, but then I had to move the word day a little bit, and now it's not straight. But anyway, we're moving on from that. And then just for fun, I dug through my stash and found these Paige Evans stickers that are word, like phrases, and decided just for fun I would add those to the frames as well, because there's not enough going on with this layout. I just thought it needed a little bit more. So that's the word wonderful and a little love heart. And then the next one is happiness, and that takes up the whole length of this frame. So it actually comes with the word real happiness. So I'm actually going to put the word real down on the top of the blue pattern paper, just as a little, something special. Real happiness, because you should just see his face, guys. He is just so tickled pink to be going to big school, as we call it. And then this last one says remember. And no, you can't see it that well because of the colours of the frame, but that's okay, because they were never meant to be like the title. They were just kind of, key catchphrases, I suppose you might say. Then I'm going to finish it off with a few enamel dots. Spot, spot, spot. And then, of course, some splatters. You know me, I cannot finish off a layer without a few splatters. So just, again, tying in the random colours that are all over this layout. And then some black and gold splatters. Actually, I think I only used black. Then some black splatters. Oh, no, I did use gold. There you go. Should have known. Don't doubt myself. And some white too. I just went a little splatter crazy. But now this layout is finished. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process. I hope I have inspired you to pull out those frames and include those in a layout. As I said, I used them all in one layout, which was definitely above and beyond the design brief there. Have a happy, scrappy week, everyone, and I cannot wait to share my next layout with you later in the month. Bye.